Hello, hello. Just quick note. We had a new paper coming out, and I'd like to give a very quick summary. It's a slightly unusual paper in the sense that it's a mix, it's a crossover between geology and I guess anthropology. So it's about petroglyphs, and these petroglyphs are known for quite a while in the Canary Islands, that is, and they go back to the Aboriginal population on the islands. And there's a set of rather enigmatic petroglyphs on the island of El Hierro. So let me share my screen. The paper just came out, and it's led by Mario. Mario is, here we are. You should see it now. Yeah. So Mario is working for the Geopark and on El Hierro, and he is working in the interpretation center, and he has been seeing a lot of these features. And then there's myself and Jörg. Jörg is a caving specialist on the island of El Hierro, and he has seen a few in some of the caves, which were used by the Aboriginal population as shelter and storage and as a stables for livestock and things like that. And then there's Juan Carlos Caracedo. So we called the paper Messages from the Past, the Petroglyphs of El Hierro. And the paper is published in Geology Today. It's open access. I'll put the link in the box below so you can download the paper for free as a PDF and then print it if you like. So first of all, we're going into El Hierro on the background, geology of El Hierro. It's a volcanic island in the Canary Archipelago. And the most recent eruptions are the ones in orange here, and the older ones are the ones in green. And these are actually rather nice looking lavas. And there's a whole lava field down here and up here. And there's also some eruptions up here on the crest. And there's the El Golfo landslide scar, the El Julan landslide scar, and the Las Playas landslide. That was an incomplete, aborted landslide. And these three landslides, they give El Hierro this distinct shape. And many of the recent lava flows, they're obviously filling depression because lava flows are ground hugging. They fill lower ground. And this is why we find the orange colors here dominantly within the areas here that have experienced collapses. So then here's a little impression of how the island looks like and what kind of geology we are encountering there. And I can make it a little larger. I hope it works. So here we have lava fields and sinter cones. This is the typical geology there. And this is some of the lava surfaces, stunning Pahoehoe lavas. And of course, also some blocky lavas. There's some tumuli here as well. These are volcanic tumuli, not burial ground tumuli as we find somewhere else in the Canary Islands. So there's a bulging areas in the lava flow when there's some pressure from underneath. Maybe the flow gets a little stuck and it's bulging up, and then we get these tumuli. And then, of course, we have lava tubes there. El Hierro is well known for its lava tubes, and in those lava tubes, we find quite a lot of those. Now, initially, the Spanish conquistadores, they looked at them as, well, graffiti in a way, as, the doodles we do when people are on the phone. And of course, if you are caught on a rainy day with your goats and you are seeking shelter in one of them, then you might have a lot of time. So, and they didn't take these petroglyphs very seriously, but there has been a new generation of researchers, obviously. And here's some of these examples. Let's see if I can make it a little bigger. Now, there seems to be different types of those, and there's actually quite a fair number of them. It's not an isolated occurrence, and they occur on different ends of the island, in fact. And some of them are geometrical features. So some have even interpreted this as potentially marking certain grazing grounds for the livestock or so, or maybe it was potentially a checkerboard kind of play substrate where you put little stones there and play something. So a lot of speculations, but yeah, there is quite a number of these geometrical features. And then here is some that look more like alphabetic symbols, and some of them have resemblance with the Berber alphabet from North Africa. Now, the DNA of the people in the Canaries is to a large degree of North African origin, of in fact Berber origin, but also some other influences from this part of the world. There is also some Middle East influences, but they are comparatively small. And then, of course, there's now in the population a strong Hispanic influence, but the original Berber DNA is traceable in the current population to a large degree, but also in remnants that are found in some of the caves, for example. There's the graves, for example, and there people were able to extract DNA. So we know that the original population does originate from North Africa. How they got there is a big debate. Some people say the Phoenicians brought some people, others say the Romans. The Phoenician idea is quite intriguing because it means when the Phoenician Empire collapsed, these people may have been stranded, left behind, like a space station that suddenly lost connection to the home planet, and then they were left to fend for themselves. So this is, of course, an interpretation. There is an uncertainty about how the people got there, but we know they came from that part of the world. And then they would have learned, of course, some of these symbols, and maybe they used them. Maybe they were changed over many generations. But here we have some alphabetic inscriptions that we still can't read, but of course, they look more like letters. And this is actually the local name is letreros, the letters, the old letters, if you will. And you can find them on usually smooth surfaces. Sometimes they're scratched into outcrops where we have a little bit of a coating, like a weathering, like here in the A panel, but sometimes they're actually also put into relatively smooth pahoehoe lava surfaces, and then they are really literally hacked in. And this is one of the features here. We are exploring how they were made, and when you look very carefully here, particularly in this one, it comes out quite nice because this seems a bit incomplete. Maybe the shepherd had to run after the goat, and this one didn't get completed. But it's usually a point arrangement, so it's many little points, and there's of course art forms today that use this type of thing. We use it in printing sometimes as well, and effectively there was a chisel of some sort and a hammer. So, and these were probably stone tools. And then you make a lot of points, many points. And then it creates a relief on the rock. And then, of course, you have shade that makes it even more visible. And of course, the surface color may be different to the color of the interior of the rock under the surface. And then you also get a color difference. So, having explored this, then we report here on a small experimental archaeology project, and here's several hard crystal-rich basaltic rocks, and you can use them, as we said, as hammer and chisel, and it actually works. It's a lot of work to do one of those, but it is technically feasible. So, people must have had some time to do this, but I guess back in those days there was less distraction, less social media, less television, etc., no internet. So I guess this is something you could play with. Whether these are now messages, whether these are literary pieces where somebody tells a story, or whether this is, marking territories or counting livestock. In many cases, we have no idea right now. There is some interpretations, but we can't be sure. And maybe some supercomputer or artificial intelligence might give us a hint somewhere down the line. So here's also some suggestions on further reading. There is literature sources that talk about the DNA studies I mentioned, also about the geology of the island and various older archaeology works. So that is the paper. If you're interested, do download it and have a look. And if you ever go to El Hierro, try to have a look at them as well. We have been a little hesitant to give exact locations in the paper because we don't want them to be violated. But there is a book we are making, and we're writing it, and there we will give more exact locations hidden in the small print in the text. So you really need to be very interested. But we will reveal the locations in the future. Okay, thank you very much. All the very best, and have a great day. Bye bye.